Hey everyone, this is Sean, pal. I want to take a few minutes and talk about something real important. I've been recently talking about branding yourself and how important it is to brand yourself in any business. Because to be honest, it's your name that you're branding. You know what I'm saying? Let me check something real quick. I've had to do this video 3 times. Okay, sound's coming into it this time. I recorded it several times and there was no sound. So I didn't want to go through another 10, 11 minute video and there wound up being no sound. Okay, so the very first thing is, like I said, branding yourself is the most important thing. But y'all, want you to think about something. What is branding yourself is basically your name, right? That's really all you've got when it comes to the online business. So it's very important that you keep your name very clean. When I'm saying this is because when you're first starting an online business and you're succeeding and you're in your Facebook groups and people are starting to know who you are and things of that nature and you see that you're succeeding in it, some people will want to contact you. And because success has a tendency to bring people, you know what I'm saying? And that's great. That's absolutely what you want. The thing is, at times, you're going to have people who have another sponsor. And they're going to want you to be their sponsor because maybe you're succeeding or, for whatever reason, right? They noticed you after they had already got in. Okay. Well, I want you to think about something. Power Lead Systems is a real good example of that because I was thoroughly pushing Power Lead Systems for a while in every business I was in. So it didn't matter if they had another sponsor in the real business, they wanted to connect with me in Power Lead Systems, and this is where it happened the most. Well, let's say here's a real good example. There was a lady named Miss Jennifer. Now, me and her have been through every business together since day one. We literally started about the same time, probably within the same month, to be honest, of each other in online business. So we've all taken the same steps going from every business. Seems like that's the same path we took. Okay, well, that's great. Now, let me ask you something. If I know Miss Jennifer's out there and she's putting the work in, and someone contacts me and I find out that they joined Lead Lightning, which I am totally against Lead Lightning. I'm not gonna lie. I'm against it big time. But let's say that they join Lead Lightning underneath Miss Jennifer or someone else, right? And they want to contact me and connect with me. Now, let me ask you something. I know Miss Jennifer is capable of giving them the attention that they need, right? So what I'll do is I'll ask them who their sponsor is. Well, once I find out who it is, I say, oh, well, first of all, I'm going to talk good about the leader herself. I'm going to say, okay, first of all, y'all, just let you know, I know Miss Jennifer. She's a great lady. She's going to get you everything you need to know about this business. I would highly suggest, sticking with her or something of that, that nature. Now, what's it going to do is it's going to build respect from me and that leader. It's going to build respect and integrity. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because it's not worth $20 a month to hurt my name. Once you get negativity started, it's something that's really hard to stop. And to be honest, it was the same way in the restaurant business world, and probably in most businesses, to be honest, where there's enough people around. I was the big guy in charge, so in my restaurant, it was hard for me not to be put into it sometimes. It was kind of nice to see kind of any kind of squabbles going in or anything like that I wasn't in, or being put into it. And I'm very easygoing, but that's how it happens. You know what I'm saying? People have a tendency, they love to throw a name down, put it down. Next thing you know, you got a following of people listening, and they're going to wind up putting, it's going to wind up hurting your name. You taking the steps to hurt your name is going to hurt it worse. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not worth that $20. It's really not worth it. So what I would often do is after I talk to them, I find out who their sponsor is supposed to be. Then what I'll do is I would contact the sponsor and say, hey, Miss Jennifer, and to be honest, it doesn't matter if we get along or not. We have never had a problem with Miss Jennifer. I'm just saying, even if that leader, it's still the integrity behind it all. You know what I'm saying? I would rather contact someone and say, hey, look, you got a downline. His name is blah, blah, blah. He's really interested in going farther in Power Lead Systems, probably going to go to gold. I told him that I thought you do a great job helping him. You might want to reach out to him and see, if he needs anything. And then let it be at that. Because I would rather that happen, and it'll do so much more for my name in the business than what that $20 a month is worth. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's one thing. Now, I'm in Exitus Elite. We're at a higher level now, right? This is $1,000. It doesn't change, It really doesn't. I'm going to tell you, I've seen leaders do things that will surprise the heck out of you. When I say surprise, I mean, they would literally tell people to put in a refund so that they could get the money. And then, to me, it's a terrible way of making money. You know what I'm saying? Especially if a leader is capable of making $100,000 in the business. Do you really think that $1,000 is worth hurting your name? But a lot of times, people at this level, they've been doing it for so long, it's just part of their game, to be honest. That's how they do it. And you don't want to get to that, have that reputation, to me. Now, I'm going to talk about something else too. Frank Calabro is my sponsor. If you don't know who he is in Traffic Monsoon, my sponsor. He's also had been my sponsor in Exitus Elite. Now, I came in Exitus Elite same time he did. I was going to do Exitus Elite with or without Frank Calabro, to be honest. But I told him I really wanted to do it. He sent me the link. Why did I go back underneath him? Under loyalty, to be honest. I do my own thing, and I've always been able to get out to people, and I knew that branding myself was the answer. And I learned how to brand myself by applying the action. And that's what most people are lacking in the first place. Why would I name this Action Taker Success Group? Because, to be honest, that's the number one thing people need to do is need to be taking action. Make sure my words are still showing up. Cool. Okay. Now, Frank Calabro Jr., if anybody's ever heard the name, why did you hear the name? Because he branded himself. How did he brand himself? He made sure his name was in everything. He refers to himself in third person just so you hear his name. You know what I'm saying? Some people may not like that. They think it's, he's got good confidence. You can put Frank down for that. But the number one thing about Frank, y'all, that a lot of y'all don't get to see, and I have, and why do I stay underneath Frank, from business to business? Because I know I'm going to succeed if I really want to do the business. It's because he's got integrity. Okay? Now, here's a real good example, y'all. Let's say we're in a business and the business goes bad, as bad as it can get, right? And I look at other leaders and they are freaking out. And a lot of these leaders have made over $100,000 in this business in a year's time. How are they putting down a business that made this kind of money in the first place? It's just pure stupidity, if you ask me. That's my personal opinion. Yet I'd see leaders do stuff like this, right? Now, that's their choice if that's what they want to do. But it winds up shooting them their own selves in the foot. Now, secondly, you got your downline sitting there saying, well, what have we been doing this whole time? You know what I'm saying? I went in this because I followed you, and now you're putting it down. Usually, there's an incentive behind this. Usually, it's because of the fact they've got another business they want you to come into. How much money are they going to make by bringing you into yet another business? You understand what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, a lot of times these leaders, their intentions may not be as clear as you may seem. You know what I'm saying? When they're putting down a business. Frank Calabro, number one thing I've seen with Frank is the man's got integrity. He's got a lot of integrity. If a business is going bad, as bad as he can go, you don't hear Frank freaking out. You don't hear Frank talking about it in the groups. To be honest, I've messaged Frank a couple of times when we've talked about a couple of things. Barely ever is anything negative from Frank Calabro. And I know in his mind, he knows things are going bad and stuff like that at that moment with that business. But you know what, y'all? We're doing what we're supposed to do. We're getting out there. We're getting seen. We're building the business. We have got things that are out of our control that's taking place in the business, obviously, right? Well, I'm not jumping boat. He's not jumping boat. We're riding the boat out until the boat sinks. If it sinks, we're going to do whatever we're supposed to do in the business. You see what I'm saying? But we don't freak out. And I think that's something that a lot of people wind up doing. Why am I saying that? Because that's part of the name that you've got also. If you're going to be the person who freaks out and your downline's going to be watching you and they're going to see what you're posting in your own groups, and then, here's another thing too. I am surprised, well, not really surprised. I see it a lot. How many people go into Frank Calabro's group when there's negativity taking place in the business, and the number one thing they talk about is how positive the people in this group are, right? Why is that group positive? Because the leader isn't freaking out. Now, I've seen the exact same business that another leader would be in, freaking out, scaring the heck out of his downline. People are there, and look at all the comments, y'all. The most negative comments you've ever seen, not just from the leader, from everybody. It's the rapport that takes place during the process. You understand what I'm saying? It's that same rapport. A lot of that comes from integrity. And the integrity itself, y'all, is part of the name of who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's part of branding yourself. It's more than just making a name to get seen. It's holding that name when you get there. You know what I'm saying? And that's something else I think a lot of people get to watch. I think you can learn a lot by watching a leader during the bad times just as much as a leader when everything's good. So that's something else to think about. So y'all, when you are in the business and you're out there and you're putting the work in, and I hope y'all are getting out and getting seen. You know you're not building if you're not getting seen. And if you're putting the work in and you see something bad happen, or if you get the opportunity to make some money on the side by stealing somebody else or something, just know y'all it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? That person who came in underneath you, who shouldn't be underneath you, what if they don't go to work? What if they think that they're supposed to sign up and then money starts shooting out their computer from all sorts of edges and corners just because they signed up? A lot of people are like that. If they think like that and then find out that they're going to have to put the work in, they don't want to do it, then they put you under the bus and start dragging you along. You don't think they're going to mention the fact that you took them from someone else? You know what I'm saying? You'll be surprised. It's just not worth it, y'all. Keep yourself clean. Have the integrity. Find a business you believe in, and just get out there and get seen. And use your gut feeling a lot of times. If something doesn't feel right, probably something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And contacting that other leader, y'all, that's going to get you a lot of respect all the way around. Somewhere down the future, the next business, the person who contacted you, will hook up with you at that business at that time. You know what I'm saying? More than likely, but do it the correct way. It's the best way to hold your name, and that's the only thing you got once you get an online business, y'all. So just remember that. Anybody ready to get Exitus Elite? Click the link down below. There's my phone number, y'all. I'm ready. I help anybody get going. I'm still putting the first person in underneath you. I'll probably be doing that for a long time. But to be honest, y'all, when I do this, y'all, I want you to think about this. That could be another leg that I'm putting out. I could be going as wide as I could possibly get. But yet I've stopped and rolled back over and started, filling in the gaps for the people that have come in underneath me to help them. Because in my opinion, what better way can you help your downline than to that? And we're talking about making a name for yourself, wanting to brand yourself, right? What better way than to put someone underneath someone else in your business? And that's $1,000 literally I'm giving away, potentially for being that second person underneath. So, but to me, I think it's a great thing. Secondly, show people what you're actually doing. If you're making money online, don't hold it to yourself like, oh, look, these are my cards. I'm going to hold it close to my chest. Show people what you're doing. Let them, and you know what? Let the deciding point be whether or not they're going to put in the work. I can't make them work, but I can sure as hell give them the answers if they're going to put the work in. And that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Doing that and putting one first person in, I don't know if there's anything else you can do for anybody, to be honest. So anybody ready to get Exitus Elite, click the link down below. I'd be tickled to help you out. Appreciate it.